Yeah.
Well, and that speaks to kind of the word that you brought in the very beginning of like, staying awake and alert to the cruelty and the suffering that's going on around us. Like if it might not impact me or my family directly. And so I think we're already in the middle of it, but there are going to be so many opportunities and moments where we have a choice that we can make, where we focus on our own selves and our own safety and sense of security and just put those blinders up, or that widening, right, of the looking out of and kind of to reference our last conversation with Dr. Prelo, we have to be intentional, those in the dominant culture, to go to spaces and places where we are not dominant so that we can be aware and we can hear story and we can learn from, we can humble ourselves to be the learner in that situation and see, I mean, when you start putting names and faces to things like this that you might not be surrounded by, I mean, that's when the Spirit's at work in your own heart, right? And tearing down some of these, biases that we might carry, right? And tearing down some of these walls that divide us, that are so pervasive in the church still today.
Yeah, and I think we have a wonderful opportunity is I know a lot of the audience who's listening to this are likely pastors and lay leaders in churches, and we have an opportunity to with a lot of grace and a lot of care to talk to our churches about these things, you know, because I think a lot of what we're facing right now is a failure of discipleship. We've not helped people see what it means to follow the way of Christ. We've believed the right doctrines and talked about personal salvation, but we are called to follow in this way, in this path that Christ, that Jesus has shown us. And so I think there are ways to talk about this and gently and kindly, but also truthfully with our people to help bring them along. And I think the places, Mazari, these counties in Appalachia she's talking about, there's likely United Methodist Church close by.
Yes.
And so if you're listening to this and you have a church, y'all have immigrants in your communities, and whether you know it or not, you know,
Exactly.
and maybe you're just not going to those parts of the communities, but Neighbors is trying to reach out, you know, and the message I heard from Mazari too is that like resources are so needed, like financial contributions are needed right now.